Hey everybody, this is Kendall from the Recording Lounge podcast, and today I'm just doing a short video on how to enhance a drum groove using Tremolo. Now, if you're a guitar player, you probably know what Tremolo is, but for those of you who aren't familiar, Tremolo is essentially a piece of gear that alternates or oscillates in volume. So quiet, loud, based on however you set the parameters. I love Tremolo. I love using it with drums and with rhythmic stuff to help enhance or increase clarity or punch or separation. So I've got an example that I'm going to show you of how I use Tremolo to enhance this drum groove. Now, I'm using the hi-hat mic and the OTK mic. Now, if you're not familiar with the OTK mic, that's the mic that I put over the kick drum. And you can check that out in my drum recording tutorials, and you can see what that's all about. A lot of people ask me, what do you use that mic for? Well, this is one of the ways. So let me just play you what we've got so far. This is a large pop rock mix. As you can see, up to these, we're up in like the hundreds of tracks. But the bulk of this song is piano-based drums. That's like the core of this song. So let me just play you what we have now. So I think this sounds great, but I want the drums to be a little more exciting, a little bit more rhythmic, a little bit more aggressive, a little more interesting. So what I'm going to do first is take my hi-hat mic, and arguably the best tremolo plugin ever made is Soundtoys Tremolator. Notice that the drummer's using accents on the hi-hat, but they're not coming through really strong. So I'm going to use Tremolo to really accentuate that. You can adjust the depth, and it's set to 8th note. You could adjust it however you need to. Anyway, now the OTK mic, I'm going to show you this from scratch first and then add each plugin one at a time. So this is what it sounds like scratch. Started by adding some EQ, a lot of mids, and then added a limiter, and then Decapitator from Soundtoys to crush it up a little bit, and then Tremolator. I really like ramp down, it's a really cool setting. And then another EQ. So this is with nothing, and this is with everything. Now I duplicated this channel and added a couple other plugins. On this I actually made it a stereo channel, and I added Pan Man from Soundtoys, which will pan the sound around. So now we have this. And I adjusted Tremolator a little bit, used a rhythm pattern with a square wave. But those two together so now, altogether, the drums sound like this. It almost adds like a percussion loop underneath the drums, which is really neat. So now when you hear that with the bass and the keys, that makes you move your head more, right? Like that makes you want to like feel the groove, like you feel it when you hear that tremolo come in. almost like a ghost note thing on the snare, or like a extra drum loop. Anyway, thought this was cool. Thought I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the podcast, Recording Lounge Podcast, on iTunes or your other favorite podcast app. Thanks. Talk to you guys next time.